Hey, good morning, Rahul. How are you?
I'm doing well, Atul. Good morning. Thanks
Good.
for having me.
From the customer point of view, what we see is customers are saying that at this point, I need to double the throughput to my end customer. Or service providers are saying we need to double the throughput to my end customer. And we need to scale the number of connections. So we have seen in a lot of networks we serve through our partners, through our customers, almost double the number of subscribers, throughput going into again new packages. What that means is that the advent of millimeter wave, advent of Wi-Fi 6, there is a very much ready market to consume that. And that bodes well as, for, of course, companies like Qualcomm, companies like Cambium who are serving that because the time is ripe for that technological transition. So one of the questions, Rahul, I have for you is as you think of Wi-Fi and 5G, uh, how do you see their usage in your customer base?
Well, I think that's a very good question. I think there's obviously a lot of confusion um, in the larger community because they talk about Wi-Fi 5G and they also talk about Wi-Fi 6. People get confused as to what is that they should be looking for. I think the simple answer is both. One is there to create access to your cloud through fixed wireless access. The second is to help your devices, Wi-Fi is to help your devices get that performance that your 5G capability is going to bring you through broadband. I'll give you a simple example. Recently, I was talking to my mom. She's in her mid 80s, and one thing led to another, and I asked her, how's the Wi-Fi performance at home? And she is in India, and her response was, I'm very happy because I have 1 gigabit Wi-Fi. I fell off my chair because I could not believe my mom was going to say 1 gigabit
She's
per second.
Rahul's mom.
I didn't know. By the way, just on a separate note, when I said I was working on AC, right? Because not long back, 3 years back, she asked me, what are you working on? And I said AC, right? Just 802.11 AC.
Yeah.
She said, why are you working on air conditioners? So long story short, this is the level of awareness that has evolved from somebody who thought 11 AC was air conditioning to now talking effectively about Wi-Fi performance needing to be 1 gigabit per second in the home, in her phone, right? And so if she is in a multi-dwelling and every person in the multi-dwelling, like an apartment complex, is getting 1 gigabit per second, just imagine the backhaul traffic.
Absolutely.
And the importance of cloud access, having the infrastructure, the backhaul capabilities with 5G or 60 gigahertz, as Cambium has now pioneered in the marketplace. These are very important phenomena. People are not going to compromise. And as a result, at the community level, at the local area network level, the amount of backhauling that's going to be needed is going to be like never before. The robustness has to rival the fixed broadband capabilities. 5G brings that to the forefront. 60 gigahertz brings that to the forefront. And the Wi-Fi 6 capabilities brings exactly what my mom needs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the way to think about this is no two networks are created the same way. Networks are very idiosyncratic. They're very much matched to the application. So if you have a video surveillance network, you need a lot more ability to upload HD traffic. If you have an industrial network, you need very low latency, maybe small packet sizes. Whereas if you're putting a broadband network for access, you need lots of ability to download, low latency and lots of throughput, downloading throughputs. So each network is different. And as you think it that way, networks will have multiple technologies, like you have different tools in your toolkit. And then as you design for your applications, you decide which tool to use. So we believe the same thing, Rahul, that Wi-Fi 6, it'll be absolutely mainstream, in the last 300-400 meters. It provides you a phenomenal access technology, very cost effective, by the way. Then as you go into mobility arena, moving 80 miles an hour, and you need gigabits of speeds or hundreds of megabits of speeds, you'll need 5G. And similarly, 5G is also bringing other real-time standards which will usher more proliferation of IIoT networks. So I think this is why Cambium calls it wireless fabric. Fabric has different strands. You weave in different technologies. You generate a fabric, and then you manage that fabric from a single pane of glass called CN Maestro in our case. So what we believe in is that let the customer focus on applications and tasks and not the tools and complexity of technologies. So whether it's 5G, fixed wireless broadband, Wi-Fi, industrial real-time standards, let's weave that in and demystify the network. And one of the things I'm very proud of our teams working together is 60 gigahertz solution, Wi-Fi 6 solution, indoor-outdoor. So one of the things, Rahul, I would ask you is, as you saw Cambium and Qualcomm working, and your company has worked with lots of different companies, what did you see very special in the 60 gigahertz program as multiple companies work together to pull a solution together?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. There are, Qualcomm puts out reference designs. So somebody can take a design that Qualcomm's built and, put a platform together by simply putting a wrapper around the Qualcomm design that Qualcomm has as a referenceware. In Cambium's case, there has been tremendous amount of collaboration between Qualcomm R&D and Cambium R&D. And so there is a next level of engagement and engineering know-how that has gone into building the final product, which I believe is the reason why Tolly Group puts Cambium products on a certain pedestal compared to its competitive landscape. And I'm really proud of the end products that the two engineering teams, organizations have come together and built and put out in the marketplace. And it speaks volume of the success of the product line and the success of Cambium as a result. And congratulations for all the great products that you guys have developed.
I would also actually congratulate Qualcomm team, because what I noticed from our side is that when you're designing an RF system, and those who are in wireless, they know RF system needs fine-tuning, not only just at the design stage, but even in the production stage. You're constantly fine-tuning so many variables. What I noticed, both the teams worked very closely together, many weekends, to, especially last 3-4 months, to fine-tune a production quality system. And very much please extend our gratitude to your team on that.
Thank you.
One of the questions, Rahul, I would ask is, a lot of people think that 5G might make Wi-Fi obsolete. And that's a question a lot of times comes, and you guys do both. So as you look at your customers and the segments, what is your opinion? How would the two kind of coexist? What kind of applications will one drive, and where, for example, 5G will focus on in applications?
First and foremost, I think it's a great question. It's come up multiple times, so I'm not surprised you raised this question. I'm hoping, folks who are going to view this program probably get a good response as a result. In my opinion, succinctly put, 5G and Wi-Fi 6 are very complementary. One cannot exist without the other. At Qualcomm, we pride in being leaders in both. We are known as the engine for wireless modem development, innovative company that has always led, and it has translated into our success both in cellular as well as Wi-Fi. And I would broaden it up and saying both in licensed as well as unlicensed spectrum modem capabilities. So 5G being in the licensed spectrum, Wi-Fi being in the unlicensed spectrum. There are many other things that we do in the unlicensed spectrum. 60 gigahertz is one other thing. If we had fully developed only licensed spectrum, we would have done injustice to rest of the world where licensed spectrum is not easily available. And so 60 gigahertz with our 802.11ay capabilities that is there in your Telegraph product that you have developed, Cambium has developed in collaboration with Facebook, is there to kind of source as well. So there is place for both licensed and unlicensed spectrum, and 5G and Wi-Fi 6 are extremely complementary to each other, and they they would feed on each other's success on a going forward basis.
Excellent. Well, my last question, as we go into, say, 2021 and 2022, what is one most exciting technology you visualize or you see coming from Qualcomm side, which you would like to share with some of our partners and customers?
Yeah, I think without spilling the beans too much, something that we've talked about in sourcing the larger customer base, we see Wi-Fi 6 evolving to 6 gigahertz band very fast, faster than what we had anticipated. Having said that, we are very well prepared. We have chipset solutions ready to go in the marketplace, and I'm very happy to say we are working very closely with Cambium team to bring that 6 gigahertz capability into the final products. And I would not be surprised as we progress towards the second half of the year, these products will launch. And so that is one big thing. And I'm seeing a broad acceptance of 6 gigahertz in the marketplace. And various regulatory bodies around the world have also embracing 6 gigahertz as another band for Wi-Fi, which would provide a lot more access. I have one question for you.
Sure.
Last, but very important question. I want you to spill some beans.
Sure.
And I think
sure.
the big thing that I believe is happening with Cambium products is that your products are outstanding. Engineering marvel. What is so different that you do with Qualcomm's Wi-Fi 6 chipsets that makes your products stand out in the marketplace?
So, first of all, I think I have to give a lot of credit to our engineers, our product management, which conceived the products, marketing, which takes the products out, sales, which talks to the customers and explain the value proposition, manufacturing, which generates the quality. I think our secret sauce is use the Qualcomm chips, then design our own MAC layer. And this is how we take your Wi-Fi chips, and then we design point-to-multipoint in the ePMP platform, for example, where we can serve 10, 15 kilometer radius and serve thousands of customers, keep the affordability, because Wi-Fi chips, they do give us affordability. But the resiliency part, the deterministic part, comes from our software design, software-defined radio architecture, our entire management from the cloud. All those things coming together, they give you affordability, yet mission-critical connectivity. And our entire lineup of products from point-to-multipoint to Wi-Fi 6 platforms, they're all Qualcomm-based chips. And we are very proud of this partnership. And thank you for coming to CambiumConnections. And we have a lot of gratitude to you and your team as you work with us.